I'm all over the shoe, man. Today we're going to be working on a pair of Redwing Iron Rangers. Now these have been my workhorses for the past 8 or 9 months, and they still got a little life left in them, but I want to do something a little different. I want to redo them. The manufacturer didn't countersink the stitches, so as soon as I started walking on it, it broke the stitching. And it doesn't seem like they glued it very well, because you can see there's a gap in between the sole and the welt. So I'm going to completely take these apart and clean them up. I actually had got some bleach on these somehow. I was pouring it on the floor and it splattered all over it. I was cleaning the floor and it got all my boots. So we're going to take it all apart, completely strip and re-dye the uppers, and make them look as good as possible. Let's get started. Alright, so we got it semi taken apart. I got the welt off. I got the sole, heels, everything off. Now you see we have the cork, we have the footbed, we have the gemming, which is that white part right there. You have your uppers. You can tell here at the back, instead of it going all the way, they fold it over. Now that's what's called a 270-degree welt. It goes from here all the way around, stops here. You can see that right here. You can see how the welt stops. Hold on, let me see if I can get it better for you. There you got some light now. So you can see this part right here goes all the way and stops right there, then kind of transitions into the heel ring, which is this piece. Now that pretty much allows you to have a slimmer profile around the heel instead of having all that welt sticking out. Now what I actually want to do is take this from a 270 to a 360-degree welt to give me a wider heel base to walk on instead of having that narrow heel base. So I'm going to take out the footbed and then remove all the nails, fold this leather up, and then put another piece of gaming that goes all the way around, right? And then that'll allow me to stitch on a welt all the way around the shoe, and then we'll go from there. Another thing, you can see there's parts right here where it comes undone. So while I have the footbed out, I'm going to stitch the gemming to the footbed. That way over time the glue doesn't give way, and then if it gives away too much and you start wearing it, these will come out and they'll become wider or narrower. So by stitching it, you keep that from happening. Got the footbed out, I cleaned it up. I was going to try to reuse the old gemming, but I decided on doing brand new ones all the way around. So I got the two glued up, and all I'm going to do is glue it around. Gotta line up the edges. Let's see. Just go all the way around it. I don't know if you can see me. You see, you just glue it around the edge. I'm just lining it up. I don't know, let's see. Can you see that? All right, now to cut it. All right, now I'm just gonna go around. Hammer it down. Make sure it's all nice and flat. Now I'm gonna go, you can see how there's like a rib there now, right? You can kind of see the cavity. So when that goes here, those holes right there are going to get stitched into here through, and then instead of it being folded on the back, that's going to come up, and then I'm just going to follow that line all the way around, and then it'll be good 360 Goodyear welted. So let's go stitch this down, and then we'll get to recoloring these, which you can see I've already done the toe. I just wanted to see if the color was going to look good. And this was the original color. I think it'll look fine with some creams on there and all that lovely stuff. It'll look good. So let's go stitch the footbed. All right, this is a patching machine. It's got a foot that goes back and forth, and it's got this long arm that you're able to get the sleeves of jackets in. And that's what we're going to use. You got your top thread, your bottom thread. You pull it down, and then you just start stitching. It's got I've got a motor on the here that winds it back and forth. It looks like this stuff is so thick, and there's also a problem with the bottom thread that I'm seeing right now. I think there's something wrong with the tension. Alright, I think I got it. I think I fixed it. We'll see. Just like that. She gets, I have to clean that up. That was when it was messing with the tension, but there you go. So I'll clean that mess up, and then we'll get to getting. Now that I got the footbed and the gimming all ready, it's time to dye these shoes. So it's very simple. After prepping the surface, I stripped it with some thinner and a paper towel, and I sanded the toe. There's a couple cuts there. Just take a sponge and some acrylic dye. I'm not putting much. See, it's just a very light coat over everything. And then you let that dry, and then do that over the whole shoe, and then let it dry. So I don't know if you can see it. I'll show you after. But right now I'm just putting a leather heel liner. These boots do not come with a heel lining. It's unlined in the back. It comes with a liner in the front. Oh, hey, now you can kind of see it. You see that red piece? It's not structural, but I'm putting it in there because I think it looks cool, and I wanted to do something a little different, like I said, and I also wanted to test my skills. Try something new that I've never done before. So as soon as I get this sewn in, I'll show you what it looks like. That's the back piece in. Now we got what's going to be the edge binding, I guess you could call it. So I thinned out this edge as much as possible with the sander, and now what I'm going to do is along the inside, like that, stitch it all the way around, and you'll see why in a second. But let's get this stitched on first. Okay, now that we got that line stitched in, what we're going to do now is put some glue along the edge, and then fold the leather over and just stitch it one more time along the bottom of that, and then that gives you a clean look on the inside. You can't see the stitches. It's a nice, what do you want to call that? I don't know what's called. It's escaping my mind. I'll remember it, but it gives you a nice clean look on the inside. So let's go ahead and put some glue on here, stitch it over, and then, or stitch it over, glue it over, and then I'll be back here to stitch it on. Alrighty, so I got it all hammered down. You can see this is called a hemmed edge, I believe it is. Hemmed edge, where you thin one side down and you fold it over on itself to where you don't see any of the stitching, and it's a nice clean edge, and it's not like, doesn't have that finished edge, not finished edge, but like rough edge, like we're all here. It's not folded over. So what I did was I took a little marker, not marker, but some sort of thing, and I scribed a line all the way around. It's hard to tell on camera, but you can kind of see it right there. And that's my guideline to stitch. So just like that, I'm gonna go ahead and stitch this one over. Oh, I hit the pedal. A good thing that was right on the right spot. So I go 1, 2, 3 over, flip it around, lock it in on itself, and then we're gonna go all the way around, trying our best to focus and stay on that line. That way it's nice and clean all the way around. And even, not all wonkified. I want this as straight as possible. Now here towards the back, there's like 4 or 5 different layers I gotta stitch through, so it's kind of difficult. That's why it's slowed down there. But once you get past the part, then it's very simple. Then once you get to the end, go back 3 stitches and then go back again. And then we are done with the stitching part. It looks like I got it kind of pretty straight and even all the way around. And then all we gotta do is cut off the excess, and then we are good to move on to the welt, which you'll see me sew on here in a second. So I'll clean this up and then get to the welt, or we got to put the footbed in, position it in, and then sew the welt on. So let's get that going. All right, so I got that band around there like that. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll do. And then I got that piece in there. The stitching could be better, but from the outside you can't tell. And then that white thread is semi-straight. It's okay, it's my boot. It's gonna have imperfections, and this is a work boot, so it's gonna be okay. So now I got the footbed, and all these are temporarily holding the footbed in place. That way it doesn't alter, and then I sew it in sideways. But we're getting ready to sew the welt on now. This is the welt. This used to be the welt. And so this, I couldn't reuse that one because now I'm gonna have a welt going from here all the way around back to here. And that one only went from here to here. So we're gonna start sewing this welt on. Alrighty, so we got the welt on all the way around, you see. Now you can see that the bottom goes all the way around, the gemming along with the welt. And instead of it being really tight up against the boot, it's got now a wider base. So now, well, let's see. This was the original sole. So you can tell now it's a whole lot wider, and that'll give you more of a sturdier base to walk on. So now that we got that all taken care of, this excess leather that we have here, I take and now cut off. Just like that, we go from a 270-degree welt shoe to a 360-degree welted shoe. Now you see here on where the two pieces meet, I skived both of them down, and then when I glue it down and stitch over it, you won't really be able to tell where the seam is. And then from the inside, let's see, there you can tell, it just lines up right underneath the footbed, and I tried it on, it fits pretty well. So now what I'm going to do is put some waterproofing spray over the whole thing, and then we can start putting the shank back in, filling the cork in, and then putting the soles and heels on. Alrighty, at this point we have the little thing I wrapped around. I don't know what you want to call that. You got the inside heel lining. I got the welt on, and then I put the shank back in, and I filled it with cork. And now what we're going to add next is this. This is just going to act as a midsole. Going to add a little color to the side, and then after we put that on, we're going to put this on. This is a leather sole with a red mini lug on top of it. And then once that goes on, we're going to stitch it all the way around to one piece, and then we're going to add some leather stacked heel bases with, yep, you guessed it, red heels. So that's what it's going to look like semi when it's done. Alright, so we got the sole on with the midsole, and now I marked the back, sanded it for the heel base, and along here, it's hard to see, but I took a knife and I cut a groove all the way around it. And so when the needle goes through, it'll go through that groove, pull the thread down into it, and that way you're walking on the rubber instead of the thread. So wish me luck. Let's stitch it. Alright, moment of truth. There's the bottom. I'll clean it up a little bit. And there's the top. But you look at that. Not too bad. Alright, now I got to put the leather heel block on with the top lift, finish sanding it, and then we should be done. Alright, we're done with this project. And you know, I gotta be honest, the red was kind of scaring me for a little bit, but I think it grew on me, and I like it a lot. It's not the same color as this, but I wish it was, but I mean, it gives it some pop. So, these are my work boots, yes. So they still got some dings and scratches, but it's okay. They look good still. And then, boy, do I love how that inside turned out. Looks beautiful. And then with the natural welt, that stitching on there, looks really good. I like it, so I hope you guys like it too. Well, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment, share, do all the wonderful things that helps me grow. And I appreciate you guys. I'm almost up to 300 subscribers now, which is, that's crazy. I didn't know 300 people would like that, but I guess they do. So thank you all. Y'all have a good day, and God bless.